If you had to choose between living a comfortable lie or facing an uncomfortable truth, which would you pick? Now imagine electricity vanishes tomorrow. What do you really need to survive? Your phone or your power?
Sorry.
This
All right.
episode,
So go ahead, Lou.
it's not just
what are we doing
talk.
today?
Oh,
It's a full
well,
send into
what about me?
identity,
I'll say it.
reality,
we're gonna
and the
gonna
weird stuff
ask
we still can't
questions
explain,
and
like the
just
mysterious
random
cloud
questions,
factory in the
And just
sky.
all of us are gonna have like
Welcome
a
to the
couple of
conversation
cuff.
you didn't know you
We
needed
in there like
until
swimwear,
now.
baby. You want to go first, Lou?
You
Or you want to
can
go
go,
first, Tom?
No.
Oh, you don't want to go first? All right. Okay. Says this one here. I was bugging out with this one. Right. What is the one thing you cannot live without?
One thing I cannot live without.
Yeah, we start off just one of those crazy
My
ones.
phone.
Your phone, dude. Are you serious, man? Godly. So I know for a fact I can live without my phone.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
I did it.
have when there was times.
So one
before.
thing I
Oh,
live
no. I'm
without.
talking
Not
recent.
now.
Did you say
one
would
thing,
live without?
One thing you can live without. So I know for a fact because when I was on vacation a couple of weeks ago, I was without my phone. Took the phone, threw it into the safe, and I didn't touch that phone until I made the one stop just to text the kids. But I was good without it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just a matter of checking to see the kids. So phone, I used it as if it was a landline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I got to PR, I was like, "Hey, children," and then said what's up to them, and
Right.
then it went right back on the ship, and party was over, bro. I didn't use it again until we got off. Matter of
the
fact,
way
I'm
to do it,
lying.
bro.
I didn't even turn it back
I
on
left
until I
it-
got back to my house. I was
I
done.
did the same exact thing you did
Yup.
when I went on vacation. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
man.
Want it. I don't want it on me. I don't want to deal
Yep.
with it.
I was good with it. But you don't think you could do it without your phone?
I mean,
Is it your
could if
phone?
I could,
but
Would you want
I'd be
to?
really fucking miserable.
yeah, I could. That was great, dude. Holy shit. That was awesome. What about you?
Right.
What do you think you can't live without?
I could do the phone.
Right, but what one thing do you think you couldn't live without? Because like for me, I don't think I could live
I
without.
don't know. That's a hard one.
Now we're talking not like family or friends or people. We're just talking like just
The what?
whatever
like,
stuff. Like I don't think I
Some
could
type
live.
of necessity. Or
Yeah, something like what we would consider a necessity. So I don't think I could live without a vehicle.
Car.
Yeah, or a car, or a bike. Like I don't think I could, motor vehicle.
Right.
I don't think I could live without that. Because I don't think I'm a horse and buggy kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. You have to be honest. There's really not a lot that comes to mind in the sense of what you said first before, but
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Power tools. Imagine now you have to go back to old school and like using your hand to
and ratchets and wrenches.
ratchet and wrenches. None
Well,
of
if
that
I got
stuff.
ratchets and wrenches, then I should be good. We should be good. The only bad thing is you won't be able to drill anything.
Yeah, you had to do the old school drill. The old school drill was like that. Winding it, you had to hold it, and then you would just wind and spin, and it was only one size
Bullshit.
big.
So you were saying
Yeah.
electricity, right?
Oh well, no,
that
because I can't live with a car.
Okay, that's a
I
good
think
one.
Society
think
can't
about
live without.
No,
We
I
would
think
go-
you're right.
We would
you're
be
right.
Word.
going cannibals in like 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah,
hell,
it would be
yeah,
bad. It
dude,
would be
yeah.
fucking bad, bro.
Without
It would not be
electricity,
good.
That would be insane.
People would go off the hook
Oh,
nuts.
Dude, the whole infrastructure would shut down.
Yeah, literally.
I
bro.
would hope they wouldn't, but they would. People will. People will lose their shit.
Well, there was movies about all that stuff
Well-
happening. Like what was it, Die Hard or Live Trying, something like that. And in that one, the people had hacked the electrical grid and they shut
Oh, it was
down
the newer
parts of
one.
it.
The newer one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a newer
And
one.
that's what and that was one that they had done that, and they were trying to just show that the governments needed or the world needed to have electricity, but they were cutting them off, and people started to bug out a little bit. So I'm just saying that would be wild, man. That would be crazy. Woo, no electricity. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Don't know if I could do that. What are you thinking, Lou? What you got?
I don't know. What,
You have a
here's a
question?
good one. What's more important, truth or comfort?
Ooh, depends.
Right. That's hard to say. Though.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes the truth is comforting. Sometimes.
Not all the time.
Yeah, doesn't mean rat yourself out.
Well, it doesn't also mean that if you hear what is the truth is actually going to help make you feel better either.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Right. So I guess it
You
depends.
think it will,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work out that way usually.
I don't know. I'm that guy. I think I'd rather have truth, though. I think I personally rather have truth.
Yeah, I think so. Me
I
too.
think I would want to have truth. What are you thinking, Tom?
A little comfort throwing it out a little bit.
Somebody rub your back on telling you.
I mean-
You're a prick. Imagine that shit.
No.
Truth, I mean, it's better to know than not know. You know the term ignorance
Right.
is bliss.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't have a harp here. Sorry,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I can't hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I do have a harp. Look at.
Awesome.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
I don't
go.
have a
Yes.
harp.
Yes, truth. That is it. That's yeah. I guess you're right, bro. I would be down with that. That's funny. That is funny. All right, here you go. What inspires you the most? So like, is it love? Is it just wanting to know the truth? Is it just
about
curiosity?
it.
You know what I mean? Like, what inspires you? People? We couldn't say people. Do your kids inspire
The
you?
kids probably.
Your
I would say.
friends, family, some other family member, I gotta say, I
Kids.
think my kids would be the ones I would have to say
Yeah,
would be what inspires me.
I agree.
Kids and then wife, I think is what it is. Because sometimes she says and does things, I'm like, oh, I wish I could just be like that, like I could just have that mental for a minute,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But I think kids, wife, and then I have friends that I get a little bit out of all you guys and stuff like, oh, I wish I could do it like that. Oh, I wish I could be like, just have that mental. That's me. What do you think?
For me, I can't say like one thing specific,
Right.
Because like I take inspiration from everywhere.
Okay.
know? Sometimes certain things inspire me. I find things maybe. So it's tough to say. Like I can't say from one thing just because like I get a lot of inspiration I feel from people who were, I get everybody, like vocal, more like, I hate to use the term woke, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I like to get inspiration from people that are like more willing to like
Teach?
expose
Oh, okay.
things and like, hey, check this out. You didn't know about this, but
Right.
did you know? Like, I love
The
that
good about
kind of shit.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
and it's
and
it's free information. They just
Right,
make sure they get it out to you.
I'm not just saying like just like stuff that like people like didn't know that they should know,
Right.
like stuff like that.
Got
That's
it.
why I love like TikTok and shit like that.
Yeah.
because like it shows people things that like
who do well because of what's
Yeah.
going on in their life. It could be
Yeah,
anything now.
exactly.
Right.
So now anybody is in that.
self-help stuff too.
Right.
That's
Right.
great too.
Yeah, because like, isn't that there's that one guy that he lives out off the grid. I think he's supposed to be stopping how often he posts, but he was just showing all these crazy random places, and he was doing it with his kids, and they were just up on a mountain,
didn't
out
know
on a
that.
field, yeah. And but I understand, I get what you're saying. That makes sense. That would be cool. That's a nifty inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could dig that. I could dig that. You? No. Well, no. Say you had another question.
No,
You
no.
said-
But
you said the
inspiration to me,
kids.
I would think. Yes, I did this to my kids, but I'm trying to think. That's easy. Well, that's an easy kids. Of course,
Mhm.
of course you do. I think it could come for me. It comes when it happens, kind of thing. When I get inspired to do something, like when the right.
Right.
I mean, that's when it. I don't necessarily look to try to do anything, but I do get inspired by other people.
Mm-hmm.
Get inspired by things like that, like Tom was saying,
Yeah.
or positive affirmations and
Yeah.
taking care of each other and animals and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But
you
that's
do. I
me.
get it. Yeah. Right.
But-
Exactly.
Right.
That's the one. That's you. So that's
That's
what
me.
you would be. Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
So that would
yeah,
be
yeah.
giving me, if everything was good. And
Yeah.
There's always hope, my friend. There's always hope.
There's always hope, homie. There's always hope.
But we got a bunch of stuff on here
Yeah,
that's
what
really
do we-
cool, though. Seriously. Oh, that's an easy. I'll ask that later.
All right.
Okay. What one belief you hold that you'll never speak out loud?
Ooh.
Well, then I guess we're not gonna find out, are we?
Let's move on, shall we?
Next question.
That is such a loaded freaking pistol, dude. Holy
I know it.
shit. Never mind a loaded question. That's a loaded pistol. Because, bro, it's like people will listen to this and then they're knocking at your door. That's what you said. Man. Yeah. Dude, that is funny. That's a super deep one. I think, we can't answer that.
All
shit.
right. Is identity something fixed or always evolving?
Always evolving.
Oh, yeah. Always,
Definitely always evolving.
Yeah.
Because like the person you are last year might not be today.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we all have our personalities, but even that can change.
Mhm.
Right.
Some people can be very, they grow up very extroverted. They get
Mhm.
older, they're introverted.
Right.
They're not like sociable as much, and then it could be the other way around.
Right.
And same thing with maybe someone was like always someone was always like a nice guy, now he's got the chip on his shoulder all the
Yeah.
time. Like people just change.
Right.
So I think it's always evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to
Definitely.
agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
For
As-
sure.
As
Absolutely.
life changes and you have different
And-
experiences in life,
Mhm.
it shapes who you
And you
are.
definitely know you
Yes.
have. I mean, if
Yeah.
if you look at yourself at a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a picture that reminds you of something or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and you say, "Oh wow, definitely not the same person I was when I
Yes,
took that
exactly.
photograph. You
Right.
know, you kind of already
But-
know
Yeah.
that.
But you know what?
But you are,
But-
but you're not. You're more mature. You're more seasoned. You're
Right.
more live life. You're not green anymore.
But then there's people
Yes.
that never change. So I don't know. I think maybe that question. I'm playing my own devil's advocate
What?
here, but I feel like there's some people you see them like years later, and you're like, they're the same person. Nothing's
I
changed.
know people like that
Yeah.
too.
So I guess
Am I still the same person?
I guess I guess it really depends then on the person, then, right? Because it
Well-
can go two ways. Like you said, some people don't change, and some people change.
But it depends. So I think I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, or in some aspects they change. in
Yeah,
some aspects
because
they don't.
yeah, so I'm the same comedian that I was always. I still talk shit and laugh
Right.
and joke and it's whatever. How I feel about people or certain things has changed. So I'm more
Okay.
mature with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
like then
Yeah.
like I'm nicer to people than I was many moons ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Yeah, and
That comes with age, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. With age
Now-
comes wisdom.
But also, we also know that there are those people who will never get to that point in their life. They are stuck in their ways from a certain point in time that
Okay.
is no longer in,
Talking about 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, think about it. I'm talking
Yeah,
because
no.
there are people like that.
Right.
No, I
Not only people that I know, but I mean, in general, you know
Yeah.
people like that. You're like,
Yes.
this motherfucker's never going to get it.
Yeah, never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get
Right?
it. Yeah, because they're freaking
3
crackheads.
episodes ago.
Them-
Correction. But anyway.
Yeah.
But no.
That was
Yeah.
a good point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a minute. You got a question, bro? What were you contemplating?
I got to fuck with
No,
him,
no,
man.
no. I was just thinking the amount of episodes back that we were talking about the similar subject.
All right, wait a minute.
That's funny.
I have another
Yeah.
question.
No, go ahead.
Can we truly change, or do we just learn to mask our flaws better?
Mask our flaws better, hands down.
What do you mean, like a mask or what?
We just
Our
said we did
flaws.
change. We do change. We do. We evolve as we get older. We change.
For certain things.
What does that mean, mask or floors? I haven't heard that.
Flaws. You know,
your
things that you're
flaw.
not.
Yeah.
Like so let's say physical or verbal or
Right.
whatever
So
it might be. You might
we
have a flaw in
change and we
something.
mature. But we get better, or some of us will get better and do that. But
It's a
our
question.
flaw would be something that we find is
But it's something
wrong
that
with
nobody
us.
would know about either. It would only you be the only one who would know it. If you had a flaw that
Right.
you knew,
What is that?
Right.
Oh, floor. I thought you said
floor.
Oh my god.
Not
you
the
guys-
floor
your
like the
fucking Brooklyn
linoleum
accents.
floor.
The floor.
The
The floor.
floor.
I'm like, what about the floor?
what the fuck? Floor. We got a lot of floor.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! The floor. FLA.
Yeah.
The fuck you guys talking about? What metaphor is this? I've never heard this before.
Oh my god.
That is
Oh
funny as
my God.
That's funny, dude.
So yeah,
That's funny.
So now what is the question again? Because I completely
Read
forgot.
the question
Masking
again.
Oh
He
my
made me
God.
forget something.
He did because he just went off on a tangent. Oh my god.
Understand
gotta
what the
find
Can
fuck-
someone truly change, or do we just learn to mask our flaws better?
I think.
I think people. I think we all change. What I was saying earlier was, so when you were a child, when you're young,
Right.
you're green.
Mm-hmm.
You go through life. You figure shit out. You get a
Right.
job, right? You go through the stages. You're in 20s, 30s, 40s, right? Now, you have experience. You live life. You've been up, down, this, sick.
Right.
Someone passed away.
Mhm.
Something. Like there was always something. And if you got through that, you got better through life. Some people don't. Some people get a little. I'm not saying that it was
I'm gonna
great.
get real deep on this one.
Yes. Go
But-
ahead.
Go ahead.
So I'm sorry. Did I cut you off? I reached.
No.
I'm sorry. I do that all the time. I apologize. No. So I think masking flaws is the first step to changing. Actually,
I would agree
so
with that.
because that means you have awareness.
Of something that you're not
So-
very proud of.
Yeah, you have awareness of it. So if you're not aware of it, you're just gonna keep fucking doing
Or,
it.
or comfortable
So-
with.
Yeah. So if you're masking it, that means you're not comfortable with it,
Right.
Or you're or just aware of it. So
Right.
you're masking it because you know it's a
And you
bad
want to make
behavior.
sure, most likely
So
you
once
don't want
you
anybody else
start-
to know about
And
it.
once you start masking, that's a very stressful thing to do. Not stressful. It's just it's work. So you're not going to want to do it anymore.
Right.
So you're going to change.
Right.
So I think it's a step.
You would
That's
hope it would
my
force.
theory.
You would
That's
hope it
my
would.
theory.
It could happen. You know.
That's
you could
my
hope it
theory.
forced somebody to go in that direction,
Yeah.
right? And then
Because if
they
you're
finally get
masking,
to where
then
they're
you're
supposed to
aware
be.
of a behavior. And you're,
Right.
You know,
Right.
In some way or another, you're actually admitting to yourself that you got something is going on.
Right. Huh.
And that's the first step, is admitting.
Right. That's
Bro,
right. That's
bravo,
what they
bro.
say.
That was good.
Okay,
that was
man.
Very well put right there. That's groovy. You got another one, bro?
Oh, I got a lot.
Oh yeah.
But go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and do one.
How do you recharge? So out of a stressful situation
Okay,
or whatever. Yep. Go ahead.
For me, that's easy. I just need some. I need the Fortress of Solitude. And I just gotta, you know what I mean? I just gotta just chill, be at home, you know, recharge.
Yeah. I like.
That's I'm a
I can watch TV, or I like when I crash and I can sleep on the week, on the weekends. Like I like to sleep.
Yeah.
I like to get my sleep. I don't sleep as long as I usually sleep, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. I don't like to sleep that off like that, but I'll take like kind of like naps throughout the day. Like if I get up.
I've been
super
doing
early.
that too.
But yeah.
Every so often.
Yeah. I don't know. To recharge, I think it's a little bit of peace time. You know, just quiet. Be able to just to sit and be like. Nobody, I don't hear anybody. I don't, just me right there with the
Agreed.
TV or whatever that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm with you, bro. Fortress of Solitude is.
Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, that sounds where it's at, man.
That'd be awesome. I could be there.
I know,
Just sit right in the middle of it.
dude. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Right? Just not
Yeah.
do anything. Just sit there and
Yep.
just listen.
With a projection TV showing
Right?
something groovy,
Yeah.
watching the game or whatever.
That would be
Yeah.
sick.
yeah,
But you never know, man.
yeah.
Okay. Are we the people we think we are, or people others see us as?
Ooh, dun dun dun. This is a Tom question, bro.
So you think you're one way, but everybody else knows you're not. You're either really you're a dick, or you're really a good person. You don't realize that you are, or something to that effect. Like, well, you're just not a.
Mm-hmm.
You think one way. It's like almost the same thing when I shouldn't even say this, but when people wear clothes that they probably shouldn't be wearing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You mean like?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Right.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Are we the
No, I
people we
mean-
think we are, or people see us
But I
another
think-
way?
Well, I think in general that's probably true for everyone because we always perceive ourselves to be a certain way.
This is
But
true.
like you can't see yourself. So
Because you are yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And when you project and you
That's
think
why
that
when
other
you see
people,
like
Yeah.
it's never the way you think it
That's
is when
why-
you go there, because it's perfectly
that's
fine, and
why
that's
you
all
ever
in your
see
head.
you ever see someone take like candid video of you and you're like, oh, it's so fucking that's I
Yeah,
don't,
like,
do I act like do I look
Did
like
I
that?
do that?
Yeah, you're
Right.
like, yeah, it's weird.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, that's not how I am.
Yeah, I do
It's-
not
Right.
like that video.
Yeah.
You delete that shit
weird.
immediately.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's,
Hell
just,
yeah.
that's how you are. You know, that's the.
I know, but it's funny when you see certain things. But but if you're acting like a goofball to begin with, then it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
I'm
mean?
like a goofball a good amount of the time. So,
Most of the time, so
Yeah.
you might get away, but they may not see those slip ups. It
Yeah.
will only be you. But
Right.
I'm
'cause-
good.
Well, is that the person you want people to see?
Yeah, you always want people to see your good side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we all have one side that if you push us or something's going on, or
Right,
it's in
right,
our
right,
lives,
right.
you're not a very nice person to be around.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I know I'm not.
Can't be
So
good all the
yeah,
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
but not all the time though.
Right.
Only, I would hope when it's only necessary or unfortunate, maybe.
Right.
Is that the right word?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Because I'd rather be happy, but I know that's not realistic. Shit happens. But that's the other thing we were saying about age too. You get to a point where you start to be like, this is really not a big deal.
Right. Right.
You're like,
Mm-hmm.
I made such a big deal about this when I was whatever, this age or that age. And now you're this age and you're like, okay, this is really not a big deal. I wasted too much time on that shit.
Yeah.
it's true.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely.
It's
Definitely.
crazy.
That makes sense. Yep.
And again, it goes to like when you see young kids and they talk stuff, and you're like, all right, you're very knowledgeable and you say things and you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
this,
yeah,
that, and the
yeah.
other thing. You don't know. All right?
I got socks older than yours, Sonny. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I like that. That works. That works.
But listen, the kids today are different than the kids that we were too. So
Right.
they do shit that we probably would have loved to have done if we had the same access they did. You know what I
My
mean?
old job used to have a guy that used to say that to me.
yeah.
I got socks older.
I got socks older than you, Sonny.
So it's like, yeah, you might want to buy new socks.
Yeah. But
My
you need
bulls.
some new socks. Bro. Oh, yeah. All right. Do
What do
you
you got?
work to live or live to work?
Oh no, I have to work to live. That's the only way. It's
Well, I think that's more metaphorical. You know what I mean? Like, do you go to work because, you want to live your life and have a good time? Or is it that you're going to work because you don't have anything else that you only
I
going to
work
work
to live. I do not live to work.
Yeah.
I don't live to work.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Work to live.
Yeah,
exactly.
like some people are just so wrapped up in their job,
Nah,
or their quote unquote career
I don't
that
think
they
I've
don't do
ever
anything
been
else.
like that. Maybe that's. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well,
or not.
I think we're all that way because I don't think anybody that lives to work would have a podcast.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah,
Right.
Unless
Right.
they're,
Right, no,
unless
right.
they're-
Sorry,
unless-
I'm just thinking about work.
Hello.
but they're living to work at the podcast to be famous to make that the
well,
job.
Okay,
Well, this is
okay.
added information. This is added information.
I'm thinking as someone who's a 9 to 5 or
Oh, 9 to 5 or no, okay, right.
Okay, gotcha.
A slave wage,
Yeah.
fucking,
Exactly.
you know,
bro.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm
No, right.
working
Hell yeah.
retail hell, whatever it is,
Yeah,
whatever you
whatever.
fucking-
Any
but-
kind of hell
but
that
like,
working.
but yeah, like, okay, so if you have a job you like and love,
Right.
but I still
But
wouldn't,
it's not your life.
but I still
Right.
wouldn't, like,
It's part of your life. It's
part,
it made
but,
your life
but
better.
not be my
Right.
entire,
Right.
It
It
helped
wouldn't be
make
my
your
whole
life better,
being.
right?
That's crazy.
Right. It wouldn't be my whole being.
Right.
Fair enough.
But you need it or like having it because you do really well at it and you're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's helpful. That's huge.
Yeah.
If you can get that in your life.
Hell
man.
yeah.
As long as everything else in your life is going the way it's supposed to. Because you could have all that shit and everything else could be going
Exactly.
down the fucking drain.
Yeah, I know.
Family life could be
Yeah. Definitely.
sorry to be Debbie Downer here,
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
but
Jesus.
this is life. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is what happens.
No shit. No shit. Go ahead. What was the one you had?
Oh, okay. Hang on. You want me to do another one? Sure. Hang on. So, a mystery and the unknown. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
What do you think governments actually might be hiding from us?
Oh, we can dip into the.
We got to make
so
it.
many
Yeah,
ways, but
we got to
conspiracy.
we got to keep it right
theories.
at the top because we can't. There's not going to be a deep dive.
I know.
What
So
do you-
quick, fast. What would be the one thing that you think the government is hiding from us?
Aliens.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
Yeah.
Even though they put stuff out there,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more that they have that we don't even know
Or
about.
UFOs, or
What
so
kind of
maybe not
testing
aliens
that
per
they
se,
do.
'cause,
Well,
you
space
know,
travel.
There's so much
Space
stuff. There's just so much that they've probably done
yeah.
already that we have no clue
Yeah,
about.
like I think like building, like they have the stuff that they already been building on the moon. I think that's like been there. There's shit on the moon. I think.
Where? Which side? The dark side?
It would have to be
Yes.
the dark side.
Yeah,
You'd be
yeah,
able
on
to
the dark
see
side.
it.
You'd
'Cause
be able
if
to
you
see it on
had
the front
you-
side.
You'd be able to see it.
Yeah, I think we have like a base. Human, the world, countries, big business, whatever. They've got.
Why
think
would you
there's
need to do that?
Okay, what
Why?
would be there?
because
Why would you
mining.
need to do that though?
Because of mining.
Oh yeah, what?
So then they
what
would.
is-
So that's what the
What,
idea
what kind
is.
of mining?
Whatever ore that they say that.
Remember the
we use
movie
up on
Time Machine?
Time Machine, where the
With a
guy,
guy-
Orson Welles movie, where
No,
the guy
the guy
made the time
comes back. It was the newer one. Was made from an older movie. Guy comes back. He built the time machine back in the 1920s or
Yes.
something like that. He comes back,
Yes.
and one part of the time that he comes back to, the moon is cracked in half.
Yes. Yeah. That's that same movie. Yeah.
Cracked in
Is it
half
Orson Welles? I think it's
because they were
Orson
mining on the
Welles.
moon.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they need to be careful, man.
Well, and
Right?
like
Now the
well,
moon is pretty. For them, so it's actually part of us because it's from what I understand, we collided
right, and then
and then
that's-
it
and
moved
right,
away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, but then it's not. I mean, mining, not just mining on the moon itself. That's like the stop before, because it's easier to launch off of the moon because of less gravity. So that then they can just
To go
launch
to
out
different
to go
planets.
to different planets
Yeah,
and whatnot.
that makes sense.
That's the
I
idea.
mean, I always knew they wanted to use the moon for that.
Right.
you
So
know.
that's why I say that would be the one thing that I would like to know.
Then
That would
there's
be the one
then there's conspiracy about the dark side of the moon.
Yeah,
and
and all that other
shit.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. Okay, here you go. This is a little bit of a deeper one. Do you trust anyone with your life? Dun 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 dun. Because
I would hope so.
yeah, I probably have like 2 or 3 people. But now I guess it depends on how much with your life do you really trust. Like to jump in front of a bullet for you,
well, no, I don't expect
to
anybody to
turn
do
around and be
that.
How am I
like,
gonna do that? I mean,
"Dog!" No, I'm just like, I mean, not if yeah, I mean, not like movie words. You're like, no, and jump in front of the bullet, but I mean, like if they
do I
see
trust
somebody
anybody
getting
with my life? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anybody trust me with their life?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But I mean, you know, again, it'd be
I
like,
would hope so. I guess when the time comes, or if it was necessary,
yeah,
I would hope that whoever that person
right.
is there when it happens,
Because I mean, you know,
and they'll
turn
stop.
around and
The,
like, am I gonna turn around and be like, you know, you see me
Prevent.
crossing the street, are you gonna come and run and, you know, pull me out of the path of whatever vehicle's gonna hit me?
Right.
You know, are you gonna
like my
yell?
friend Frankie did to me when I was a kid.
Yeah, or are you
in
just
Brooklyn.
gonna yell? You're gonna yell.
Your
"Load
hero,
the car."
baby.
There goes my
Yeah.
hero.
Oh my God, bro, you guys are hilarious with that shit. Holy free holies.
Okay, let's see what else I got here. Is there knowledge humans aren't meant to have? So is there anything that we
Ooh.
shouldn't know about, regardless of how,
Oof.
I think anything that could destroy the planet,
Whoa.
anything that's destructive?
like
Yeah.
this, like this, you know, this theories about the Hadron Collider.
Yep.
Or like
Yep.
possibly making like dark matter that could
Yes.
create a black hole.
Right.
Oh, wonderful! Like in
That
Star
just
Trek.
grows
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and
Like
bigger.
in Star Trek with the
Yes.
red matter.
If that exists, we shouldn't know about it because someone's gonna think they can do it in a safe way,
And they're
Spock's
trying
gonna-
it.
Yeah,
We're Spock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got. We could do it a safe way.
Yeah.
If it's in a vacuum.
It's
and then
always
it-
a safe
and
way.
then
And
it's
it's
like
like
goes sideways.
Yeah, and there you,
know
go.
what I mean? Like,
That's
we shouldn't
You
know
ain't fixing it.
anything like that because it's going to be our destruction.
right,
It's
right,
just
right, right.
inevitable. Even if it's
Yeah.
100 years
You
from
know that
now,
they do
you
a
know,
test like
someone's
that. It's
"Who's
not going to be
for-"
anywhere near here.
Yeah, do it like in another
It's
galaxy.
going to be somewhere
Well, no, but
far,
they're doing it
far,
right
far
now.
away
Yeah.
in a
They-
galaxy.
No, no. They're doing it right now on Earth on
Now
the
we're
other
all
side of the
dead.
planet.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
they're
It's
doing
going
it
to turn
already.
into a black hole on
Yeah.
the planet. And
That's
just
awesome.
That's
get
what it
bigger and
is.
bigger.
Fucking tastic.
Yeah.
That's
They've been
beautiful.
doing it. Yeah, I've
They
seen
can
it
control it though. Is it so far?
Well, everybody
Is it,
feels
is it an actual black hole?
No. They could make the black hole if they get the dark matter,
They've already
To
collided
crash.
that shit 100 fucking million times.
and it hasn't made a black hole yet. But they're still trying to fucking make some more.
See, they should stop.
Yeah, but they're
stop
learning.
immediately.
But they're learning.
Yes.
But they're
Stop.
learning stuff just from the
Stop.
collision of what happened with the
That's what
Big
I'm
Bang.
talking
That was
Right.
the main
So
reason
for me,
all that.
it was recorded. It was recorded and video, computer analysis. It was like all there. All the data is there.
the data.
So then why now would you do it again?
They keep doing it because they want to. They're trying to keep getting it to
Are
give
this-
more information.
Yeah.
Are they
I don't know
trying
if we
to
could do a black
this
hole here in
as
the
like
night-
an energy
on
generator
Earth.
type thing?
No,
Because
yes.
a lot of people talk about dark matter energy
Mm-hmm.
that can be like
That we don't even
energy
see.
That like that we can harness energy and have like unlimited power.
Right.
Yeah, like
solve
that
our
you're gonna
problem.
let, and the,
but see-
this
And,
society is gonna let that
Yeah,
happen.
no,
Not a million
Well,
years.
but you know what? Here's the thing, though. If it was something like that,
But see,
we can't even make it happen because we can't see it.
you
So
know
you
what?
know what? That's the shame that
Sorry,
like
Lou.
like greed prevents.
Right.
We could be like light years ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be great
And-
if you
and
could
no pun
create your own
intended,
energy
you know what I mean?
source at
If-
your home?
Right.
You do it. You
Yes.
get it. You run it. You have your own energy source. Nobody's billing you nothing. You take
Mm-hmm.
care of it. You maintain it. Like in other words, you have it. It's eco-friendly.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be better where people get to the point where they have their own, they're in control of their ecosystem,
Right.
their home,
Yes.
their, you know, and they don't have to pay anybody for the energy,
Right.
give them the money or anything like that.
People
you would hope it
like
would
that
get like
shit.
that.
I
I think
mean-
Star Trek was like that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they were like that. Everything was, there was no work. You just, could, you know,
It's true.
helped society.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. That would be a good one.
That would be cool,
That
right?
would be way
I think
cool.
so.
Yeah. Okay. You
Hey,
ready?
listen, I'm a little fruity with the sci-fi. You know what I mean?
I
can't help it.
Here you go. Here you go. What's something that offends you?
Nazis.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry, it was
No,
the
no,
first
no,
thing
no,
that
no,
came
no.
to my head.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot that they still existed.
Let's
But
go to Tom. Tom, back to you.
back to the news desk. Yeah.
John, back to you.
Yeah.
Super uncomfortable right now.
Uh-huh.
don't know.
That's funny.
Sorry, guys.
What offends me is just people that like are just like assholes.
Right.
Like people that like are like, I don't give a shit if you don't like my opinion.
Right.
Like that, I hate that shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just a matter of just
What
not
really
being an
offends you?
asshole. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, don't
That's
be
the
mean.
shit I hate.
Yeah.
Jerks.
Why,
Yes.
why do
Shit
people
I
have to
hate.
just
Right.
shit on people?
Yeah.
You know what
Don't
I
be
mean?
an
Poo poo on me.
right. No poo here.
No, but no. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, like that thing. I know what it is to make themselves feel better. That's always
Yeah.
what it comes down
Totally.
to.
Right.
You know, I just don't understand why some people are just mean like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like just people are just dicks. Like that's the kind of shit I don't like.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's
No need for it.
Offended. I'm sure there's a lot that offends me. You know, it
Right.
depends on when it happens.
People like
But
that.
yeah, mostly I just don't want to see anything get hurt or, you know, because of somebody's negligence or
Right.
something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or
Mhm.
somebody being just horrible. Me, like
Yeah.
I like. I love the MMA, right? I love
Yes.
watching that, but I like when I see when these guys who are the ones that do stupid shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get in the ring with the guy
And they lose.
and they lose, and it's, you know, and you hope that they learn from that. Like you know,
Right.
don't take it as a failed necessarily, but now you're like, okay, maybe you just learn from that and you don't do that again.
Right.
Now those guys are warriors, so I would never, of course, tell
No.
them what to do.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not
I'm
that you
just
guys have to do
saying.
this, but
It's just something I'm thinking about.
that is freaking
No, it's
hilarious.
yeah.
That is freaking hilarious. Ooh, you got another one up on the
I got a bunch of it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's something you experienced that you can't logically explain?
Wait, what's that? Something you what?
What something
you
you've experienced? What's something you've experienced that you can't logically explain?
Now, logically meaning, well, not
What's
even, I know what
something?
it
It
means.
could be anything in your life.
Okay.
It could be anything that happens to you that you're just like, I
So,
can't explain this.
Spiritual
this thing
encounter in my grandparents' house in Boston.
Nice.
That
creepy.
was thinking about it now. Through
Was
the
it
years
somebody
after
you
that-
knew, or did you know
Don't
who
know.
was it? No, you
No,
didn't know.
we don't know. We don't know.
You don't know.
Yep, don't know because there was things
That's
that there was a few things that had happened, but I can't, like my cousins and I, we can't really
Right.
explain them. You know, we just know that they happened.
Right.
You know, stuff that my uncle has said that he didn't even know. He's like, I don't know what he was looking at. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, spiritual encounters at my grandparents'
I had an
house in
experience when I
Boston.
was a kid that bothered me. It freaked me the fuck out when I was a kid. We lived in an apartment building. I may have told you guys
Yeah.
this before, where I was just working on my bike in my father's shop. And it was daytime outside, but I felt like I needed to get out of the basement and run outside.
Mhm.
Like I just needed, like, something didn't feel right. Like
Right.
something was watching me or something was wrong. You know, and I would just run out of the thing, go out into the sun, and hang out outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all the time or just
No,
like that one
only
time?
happened a couple of times. It never
Okay.
really happened a lot. You know,
Yeah.
it was just, it wasn't cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you remember that. Like
Yeah.
that leaves a, like, even to this day, you're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
what the hell was that? Yeah.
I got something. I call it I actually gave a name for it. What the occurrence was, but it was a weird thing I saw in the sky, and it's not UFO related. Oh, I mean, it maybe
Could have been.
but
Maybe.
I call it the Cloud Factory. So I was outside one day. This is in maybe my 20s. Go out to my backyard in the house I grew up in, and I'm looking out. I'm looking at the sky, and I see this cloud, and it's growing, and then it would grow and then split off. And go in, and then it would grow and split off and go in the other. It would grow, but like at a fast. It was like,
Oh, I've seen shit like
Really?
this on TV. Yeah.
No like
it-
something was making the cloud.
yeah.
Weird.
Whoa.
And this is before
Super uncomfortable.
smartphones.
Right.
Like I had a flip phone, but
Yeah,
if
we
you
couldn't-
tried taking
yeah,
a picture of the sky,
it wasn't
couldn't
gonna
get
happen.
anything.
Right.
It would be like just a blotchy mess.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it just like kept making like I don't understand it. Like it was like it's like the cloud was like growing and then it would break off and then just go in the same direction like a factory. Like
Yeah.
like
Just
it was
making
making
little clouds?
and they just
Whoa.
kept.
How big were these clouds?
I mean,
Well,
if you're looking up at the sky,
Were they little
you know,
clouds?
Maybe like the size of your hand in the sky.
yeah, they were not
Mhm.
decent, not huge, but
Right,
like
but
decent
yeah.
size.
All right, no, I'm
Enough
just
to
asking.
make-
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I
enough
was
to make a
curious.
cloudy sky. Like
It wasn't a cloudy day.
ooh.
It was the only cloud in the sky. and it
No
was showing-
strange going
way,
on.
dude. That is bananas.
So like I don't what the hell was that? Was that
Yeah.
UFO activity? Maybe, or was it some
Ooh.
freak
No shit like this before, man.
natural thing, that phenomenon? You know,
right?
Right.
Or it was the government making clouds for rain.
making rain clouds.
Who knows, man? There's a lot of
Yeah.
listen. You see that stuff in the sky. People see things that
Weather
are just
machine,
do not make
the
sense.
quote
Like
unquote
this is
weather
not.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
knows?
that's crazy, man.
I've seen a streak in the sky driving up from New York, coming upstate.
It didn't look like a.
And it's like a takeoff, almost like a Star Trek stream.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, that's got to be
So
crazy.
that's why I named it the Cloud Factory.
Yeah,
So,
bro.
like,
I'm saying that makes
factory,
sense.
Like it was all going in one
Yeah.
direction, the same direction. So
That's craziness, dude. Yeah,
It
no.
was around right near
assembly
the,
line.
Yeah.
the rest stop and the throughway.
Up this way?
There's one closest to us,
Okay.
right around that area. So that thing just colors, just
Mhm.
stream.
That's funny.
Something just took off.
That's wild.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's spooky.
Because I
now
remember
you can't
saying,
see
"Oh, did you just see that?"
Yeah.
I was driving. I had the Ranger game on too, I believe.
Oh, that's what it was. You were
Ranger
so
game was
lost
on
in
as
that
well.
thing. That is crazy. You got another one, Lou?
Oh, I got plenty.
You don't
my
have one,
friend.
Tom? Just like thinking off the cuff? No, that's insane. That you got.
What does a life well lived look like to you?
Well, my son.
I think just a lot of life experiences, maybe. Experience life, you know.
Yeah, live life.
Live life, experience life. I
Yeah.
mean, so I think everyone's gonna
To
have
learn
a different
from it
opinion.
and
Like some people can like, well, to have a family, and some people are like, I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
like have a wife and kids. I want to be single my whole life.
Right,
so, like,
right.
and that doesn't mean that their life isn't
no,
complete or
everybody's
so I
different.
think it's, yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess that's why it's a good question because
Yeah,
we all have
yeah,
different
yeah.
opinions.
Right,
all
we're all
different, yeah.
different.
Like,
but
I
what's
just
good
think-
for you is not
I
good for
just
somebody
think,
else.
just to like experience life and
Yeah.
not like
Be happy.
Mhm.
just. I think the whole like
Have a
you
decent
know,
life.
like someone who like we were talking about work to live, like
Yeah.
live to work, like
Yeah.
ugh, like
Ugh. Why would you do that?
why would you do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Like,
that's
your
just
whole life,
miserable. You're
just
miserable
work,
doing
work,
that.
and
Yeah,
that way,
that's
I
not
have
good.
to look forward to retirement, but
Oh
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
why not enjoy life until retirement?
Right.
Why not
Right.
enjoy? You know, yeah, you got to work,
and then it
but,
can
like,
continue enjoying it
Still-
while you're
Yeah,
retired.
yeah.
Right. Do your
like-
vacations, enjoy the family. Yeah. No,
Exactly.
that makes it- Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Yep.
If you disappeared tomorrow,
Oof.
what would be your mark on the world?
The pee stain on the bed.
Wow.
No, you know what?
What would
The
be your
laughter.
Yeah.
The laughter that
would
I think I've
Mike-
left.
Yeah, just being
the world. That's
just
kind
being
of really big. Like, you know,
Mhm.
oh, I invented this and I did that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But you
Do
know
we all
what?
leave a mark on the world? It's a good question. Do we? You think? Do you leave a mark? Do you think if,
Yes.
like in the movie, It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Can you see your life being that way in a scenario where you think something like that would happen, where you were involved, where you helped
You mean if I didn't
somebody,
exist, what would happen?
someone
Right.
might
What would
die,
be-
or
what
somebody
would-
might not be
Yes.
born, or
Right.
whatever it is.
Like,
No, I
what
get
would
that.
this? We would be lost in this podcast if not for you.
Right, we wouldn't have you in this.
Right. See what I'm saying? See what Lou's saying?
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
right.
yeah, I think the laughter that I believe that the smiles that I put on.
I think they're gonna remember everything,
Yeah.
and they're gonna. I hope that they remember everything and laugh at all of it,
Right.
and say he was a freaking nut, and oh, if he did this, yeah, he'd lose his fucking
Yeah.
mind. You know, like I know they're gonna say that shit. That's supposed to happen,
Right.
You know, and you hope they do better than you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But I hope they laugh and cry and you
Right.
know and poke fun at me and
Yeah.
all that shit. You know, because if they're talking about me in a good way, not in such a negative or oh I hated him or I didn't like him, I'm sure I'll have those people,
Mhm.
which is
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
They can go
Mhm.
fuck themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, bro.
Then I'm fine. I don't really need anybody else. And believe it or not, it's true what they say about your world shrinking as you get older. In other words,
Right.
you don't need that many people in your life to be happy,
Right. Right.
which is true.
It
Mhm.
does shrink.
It is
It's
fucking true.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. What do you
So-
think, Tom?
No. I think I was just agreeing with Lou said how when you get older, your world does shrink a little.
Oh yeah,
bit.
no, I'm saying, but what would be yours? Like, what do you
Well-
think? What do you think your mark would be?
Me, I mean, good father,
Okay.
husband, like that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
on the world, I don't think of myself in any kind of, you know.
Well,
big
I mean,
way.
like, you know.
To the world. I mean, that sounds like
Oh,
my
well.
gift to the world. Like I don't, you know, I don't.
Yeah. Well, the world probably means more your world.
Yeah,
Like the people that you deal
so
with.
yeah, what I
you
said.
know.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Good dad. I like that one. That's groovy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's groovy. I could dig that.
Yeah.
I can dig that. Oh, so with that one though, fellas,
That was a good one.
that was a good one. I like that. I like the spontaneous questions, or when we had a list of questions, but you know, just the random answers. That's pretty groovy. I can dig it. Matter of fact, we should
wait.
do that.
We're gonna
Oh,
do one
wait,
more.
Gotta do one more. Okay.
Nope, we're gonna
Alright.
do one
We're
more.
gonna do one more.
All right.
Is it more
One
important?
more song.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
Is
Sorry.
it more important to leave something behind or to enjoy it now or enjoy the now? enjoy the now.
Ooh.
In other words,
Wait,
enjoy
wait,
life
so-
now and not worry about what you're going to leave behind. Or
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know, because for me, I believe
you,
that
you need to leave a legacy or something.
Legacy.
if I do
I
it
don't
now,
know. I'll be dead.
Yeah.
well,
you know,
but no, but I mean,
I
'cause-
know. I know. I know.
I'm going to be someplace different. I'm not going to care about what's going on here anymore.
I mean, some people. I don't know. I know some people. I guess I guess it depends on your personality. If that's something that's important, legacy is something that's important to
Yeah,
you.
I don't know if I need a legacy.
Maybe you're a professional and maybe you're a musician, like something like that.
Right.
Like I could understand. You know,
well, because I mean, but I believe that if
because
you're living the
you've
right
already
way,
kind of started to build a
Right,
legacy
yeah,
and you want to
exactly.
continue it. You know,
right?
that
Well,
kind
but
of thing.
I think we all have that
Yeah,
to an
yeah,
extent.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Of course, you have the life, a good life. I don't think it's a legacy. I mean, it's not like, you know,
But we leave our marks anyways, because if you're doing the right thing,
we'll leave it
that's
on our
your mark.
children, and they're going
Right.
to leave
Yeah.
it on their
You know?
children, and so
Well,
on and
even
so
still,
on and so
like
on.
you know, we go by what you.
In 100 years, nobody's going to remember us, bro.
Right. Well, again, yeah, they won't, because nobody's gonna be alive to remember us in 100 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
So-
you know, I get that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's not important when you're gone. Will you live this life?
Yeah.
Then we can move on to the next one.
Yeah. But just remember though,
And
what
those who
you're
go
doing-
before us, the
right?
ones we leave behind,
Yeah.
they'll follow.
Fair enough. I learned this from your great grandfather.
They will follow.
Yeah, you know, but it's what you do now is definitely going to leave a mark to be remembered after you're
I
gone.
hope a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too. So then that'll be the
Yeah.
last question.
All right.
Well,
That
was a
being
touching
said,
one. That was it. That was the pretty one. That was nice. All right. So with all that, appreciate everybody. Thank you for being here with us.
thank you.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
Yo, vegan.
Holla.
Discover, evolve, discuss, and grow with us. Please like, share, subscribe.